Bound only by frozen memories. It's hard. Racing all these broken
beaters. So welcome to another podcast with your host, Tamir25. That's me, guys. That's me. I'm Tamir25, and welcome back to another Friday podcast on a Monday. That's right. We're waking up this little podcast today for last week. When obviously we were meant to do a podcast, but we didn't do one because of the goddamn weather. And that'll be the first thing we'll be talking about today. Also, if you just joined us, I want to say a massive shout out to everybody over here. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the channels. That means there's two. Leave a like on both as well while you're at it. And if you're watching us over at Twitch.tv, be sure to smash that little heart icon. We want you to follow us so you know exactly when to be here and when not to. Very, very important. Now, the other thing is obviously we've got awesome sponsors. I want to start off by saying a massive, amazing thank you to obviously the merch. The merch shop is here and it's doing very, very well. So please head over to the merch shop, grab yourself some brand spanking new T4 Army merchandise before it all runs out. And also, don't forget, not forgetting, Cinch Gaming, there with their crazy controllers, all custom made by them for you awesome people. So be sure to check them out. The description's down below as always. And we've also got the infamous Razer brand. That's right, Razer supporting the channel and making sure you guys can get your amazing PC needs right here from your boy T4. And not last but not least, we have CD keys. That's right, CD keys. They're for you for your PS Plus, Xbox Live, and pretty much anything else that you could possibly want from gaming. So be sure to check them out. And if you're over at twitch.tv, we've also got G2A doing their awesome bidding for us, as always, over at twitch.tv. And obviously, we got some awesome guests for you guys today. As always, they're becoming a little bit of a legendary sort of ornament within the podcast community. And the first one, obviously, is the rhino kind of person with amazing friends. It's Crazy Holes. Hey, Crazy, how are you doing? Perfect. And also, not forgetting, we have got the infamous Exodus D back with us, also known as Tazzy on the GTA 5 live streams if you watch him. What's up, Taz? Welcome back. What up? Right. And obviously, last but not least, the girl with all of the I'm trying to think of a catchphrase. It's not working. It's Tara K, everyone. Hey, hi Tyra. Welcome back. Right. So, without further ado, we're going to jump straight into this. Okay. I know you guys have been gagging and waiting for this to happen, and it's happening today. So basically, we're going to kick off with the brand spanking new stuff, as always, for you people to enjoy, and that is, hold on a second, what's going on with this? Hold up, why the hell? Wow, okay. Oh, is it because I changed the size on there? This fucking thing, I tell you what. Professional podcast over here. What up?
Most professional one
ever. Okay, don't you forget it. Oh, I need to change this stupid thing. I'll make one small adjustment over here and everything goes fucked up over there. I love it. I was thinking, why did that look really weird? Now we know why. It's because it decided to change itself. Okay, right. That's fixed now. It's fixed. Okay, anyway, so jumping on, we've got the topic we wanted to talk about really is this whole thing with the weather. Okay, the weather has been interesting, like really interesting, in the sense that it's gone crazy. Okay, the weather, I think, has lost its mind. Before, I mean, if you guys haven't seen, I'm a bit of a keen gardener. I like to grow food to eat myself. So normally I would plant certain plants now that would be ready for the summertime, which obviously in the UK is like June, July, you know, August time, are ready to harvest. But with this fucked up weather, it's impossible to even know when to plant anything to make it grow in time so that you can actually eat it at peak season. So, like in the UK, what's been happening is the weather's just gone out of control. Literally, people have lost their fucking mind because the snow came this amazing little article by the Guardian, talking about the brand new uh, Emma. You know, they don't only have a goddamn storm, they also name them. You know, they give them a character. I mean, now everyone who I've ever known with the name Emma, I'm thinking you're trying to ruin the country. Okay, so anyway, the storm Emma came and literally fucked everyone in the UK. People didn't know what to do. People lost power to their houses. Water wasn't working. Boilers was shut down. I mean, chaos. And I'm talking about only like that much snow fell. You know, about, I don't know, 8 inches of snow or something. Not even less than that. I mean, where I live anyway. And people couldn't even drive their cars. People were calling in sick, saying, due to the adverse weather, I can't come to work today. Sorry for any inconvenience caused. And that's it. That was their excuse. Now, over the pond in the United States of America, it seems some parts of the US also felt the brunt of this stormy season. And I just want to play this little article for you guys from AccuWeather Check. They don't sponsor the channel, so this is just like totally free advertising for them. But basically, just have a listen to this sharp contrast that's happening with the weather from them. Is this gonna play or play, man? Yo, play. I don't know why it's not playing. It's not. Hello? Play? Let me just refresh this. Sorry, we're having small technical difficulty over here at Team 25. We'll be with you momentarily with this amazing video. Here we go. It should play now. So yeah, have a little listen to this. This is really interesting about what happened in America, and it was quite ironic because here it comes.
But what it has done, it's pulled down some colder air. So for this next storm, as it develops, there's going to be plenty of cold air in place. The moisture starts to increase on Tuesday. And then as the storm starts to intensify along the coast, it'll be drawn up to the northeast with the upper air flow. Notice the cold air charging into the northeast. So plenty of cold air coming down from Boston to New York down to Philadelphia. And as that storm moves its way up the coast, we will be looking at an area of heavy, wet snow, the type that's tough to shovel, the type that can cause power outages, tree limbs to come down, could cause a lot of damage here. So as the storms take shape, moves to the northeast, there could be some mixing issues along the coast, as is often the case. And it all depends on how close to the coast does a storm track. If it's close to the coast, heavier snows, farther.
So that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of thing that's been going on. That's just in America, and literally we're talking about this much snow in the UK freezes our economy over here, and over there it's got to be at least a house deep in order for things to not work. I mean, obviously we've got the guests here, and they have their own personal experiences. All three are actually in America, which is kind of ironic, really, that we're talking about this. But, I mean, I want to start off with Exodus, because Exodus lives in a beautiful part of America where they don't even seem to get these kind of problems. So, Exodus, did you feel any of this weather brunt that is being highlighted on the news over in the United States?
I mean, there were a couple times where it's been like for California, like freakishly like cold, but like we didn't get like any like severe stuff. It was just mainly just cold.
So it was just cold, no snow.
Yeah, no, we don't.
So you got away with it, really.
Yeah, but basically, yeah.
God damn it. Another person who lives where they got hit hard was Little Tara K. Little Tara K got covered in snow, literally. I mean, it's the saddest story I've ever heard in my life. So basically, Tara, tell us what happened where you live with this crazy ass weather that hit America.
We got about a foot or a little over a foot, and we ended up losing power at like 2 o'clock in the morning Friday, and it was out for like 36 hours. So we didn't have heat because it's run by electric. Luckily, our stove is gas, so we were able to use that, but that's the only thing we were able to use. And I had
And literally, was it freezing?
it was cold. It was like below 30 in here. It's like 30 degrees, I think, in my place.
Yeah. I mean, this weather literally fucked a lot of people. I mean, people died, trees fell on houses, all types of crazy stuff happened with this weather. I mean, it's insane. I mean, one parent lost like 7 kids. Sorry, 4 of their children died, okay, during a tree falling because of the severity of the weather. So it was no joke, you know, it's some serious stuff going down with this weather. I mean, what did you do to keep warm?
Some extra blankets, ran the stove a little bit to warm up the place.
Yeah.
But obviously,
I mean,
we can't leave the stove on that long, but
yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, you were out of power for 36 hours.
yeah.
I mean, that's insane. I mean, how did you guys, like, you know, I mean, could you go out? I mean, could you leave, or was it impossible to get around?
The roads were closed for the first like 12 hours, so we couldn't really do anything. And I had to literally shovel in front of our door to get out, and in front of our
Wow.
gate to get out of our porch.
Like something out of a movie. You know, you don't think that thing's real, really, do you? I mean, do you think the state that you're in was prepared for this kind of event happening?
We get weather like that quite a bit, so it's really like where I live in upstate New York, we get weather like that a lot, so it's nothing new to us. But this year alone, we've lost power 3 times, so we don't normally lose
So
power
it's getting worse.
Yeah.
It's getting worse then.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what is the contribution? What's making that happen? What do you think is a factor that could be causing, you know, this kind of weather to be occurring everywhere? Oh, I think have we lost her?
I'm thinking. I'm not sure.
Okay, do you want to try re-answering that again? Because I think you kind of cut out in the middle of your answering.
I'm not sure, really.
You're not sure?
Not sure.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, Crazy had a bit of a crazy day. Crazy Holes is literally, she's stuck. And basically, I mean, Crazy's going to tell us all about the little story that happened with her. It seems like everyone got caught up in something of some sort, which was beyond their control, and then kind of messed up the rest of their week pretty much. So, Crazy, tell us what the hell happened to you during this crazy stormy season.
Pretty much last week, went to Washington, was getting ready to go home on Thursday evening. Pretty much, the wind started coming, and then saw the weather, and then said that Washington had 35 to 40 miles an hour winds with like pretty much rain, snow, just coastal flooding. So yeah, and then Friday woke up and everything was just covered in white pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit insane, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, what did you? I mean, what have you done to be able to, keep yourself safe and be able to get around still?
Well, we was gonna stay in the airport.
Hmm.
But
So you stranded at the airport, basically,
pretty much, yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, but I did know that obviously parts of New York and that were saw up to
Yeah.
nearly 3 feet of snow, pretty much.
Wow.
Mm.
Right. 3 feet of snow. I mean, that's pretty high. That's a lot of snow. I mean, have you been out and about? Have you seen what the kind of repercussions of this storm's been?
Pretty much trees falling over, like I don't know what they're called. I think they're called the poles with the wires on. I don't know exactly what they're called. They've been
Power lines?
Yeah, that's the one, power lines.
Oh, right. Yeah, power lines, yeah. Yeah, the thing that carries the power. Got it. Yeah, power lines, yep.
Yeah, they've been knocked over and people being knocked over by trees while they're walking, sort of thing, because of
Shut up!
because of the
You didn't see someone get knocked over by a tree while they're walking.
No, but that's what's been going on in the news, really, and people's houses being destroyed. So yeah,
That's insane. I mean, that is just crazy. That's just crazy to think that people are walking along the road and I mean, you can see from the footage. I mean, some of this weather's been out of control. It has been crazy. And it's caused massive disruption in the US and over in the UK. It's cost every day that we had this stormy winter weather. It cost £1 billion a day. That's about 1.3 billion US dollars. Every single day it was costing that we had this storm running in the US, in the UK. And I mean, it's literally, it gridlocked the airports. People couldn't fly anywhere. And the roads, I mean, the roads said something else. I mean, literally, we had tractors trying to clear snow, which we don't really have it here. Like in the US, they have like snow plows and stuff. We're not really prepared for it as well in the UK because we don't know whether we're gonna get the snow or we're not gonna get the snow. So when it comes, it's like shit. The snow's arrived. Everyone, do something. So literally, for like a whole week, no one could go anywhere. Literally, and it even had a knock-on effect on the GDP, which is obviously the growth of our actual national money thing, and we lost 0.5%, which is ridiculous. I mean, you wouldn't believe like a storm that just lasted about 6 days could make an economy actually lose that much gross in profit, which is ridiculous. But this is some of the crazy shit that went down. I mean, there were some crazy pictures as well. I mean, the pictures were just insane of what happened during the actual storm itself, and people literally were stranded everywhere. And I mean, the thing is, if you guys got caught up in this storm, whether in the UK, whether in the US, or maybe another part of the world that we haven't even covered, please be sure to get in touch with us and drop a comment down below so that we can kind of discuss the story a little bit further, really. And also, if you're watching us live, be sure to drop your comments. I'll be sure to talk about them and raise them up if they are of relevance within the actual topic that we're on. Moving on swiftly, there is a little topic that's a little bit sensitive to a few of us. Now, there's a national outbreak, really, with this, and 1 minute it's going down, next minute it's going up. And obviously, we're talking about bullying. Now, before I bring Tara K into this, because this is a topic she's quite passionate about, she wanted to talk about, and I want to just give the definition of what is bullying. And basically, in 2014, the Center of Disease Control and Department of Education released the first federal uniform definition of bullying, which for research and surveillance. The core elements of the definition include unwanted aggressive behavior, observed or perceived power imbalance, and repetition of behaviors or high likely of repetition. These are many modes and types of bullying. Now, that may sound quite complicated, but to break it down, the current definition acknowledges 2 modes and 4 types by which youth can be bullied or can bully others. The 2 modes of bullying include direct, which is like bullying that occurs in the presence of target in youth, and indirect, which is bullying not directly committed at a target youth, such as spreading rumors. You get what I'm saying. In addition to these 2 modes, the 4 types of bullying, including broad categories of physical, verbal, and relational. I don't know. Relational efforts of efforts to harm the reputation of all relationships of the target and damage to property. So bullying is a massive thing that's going on, and it never seems to be something which is easily kind of rectified, I find. I mean, one of my kids got bullied in school, to be honest, and we had to go in and kind of sort things out because he didn't even realize that he was being bullied, but he was. So the thing is even identifying kids who don't understand that kids are using them to bully them, but they don't realize, because some kids might find it hard to make friends, or they might find it hard to have friends or keep friends, or they just pretend to be a certain way in order to be able to mingle with certain types of people because of, obviously, of influence and peer pressure and whatever. So, you know, everyone's always trying to fit somewhere because they want to belong to something. So, you know, it's quite scary to imagine. I mean, I was quite worried, like my kid telling me that, because I was like, dude, how the hell did that even happen? You know, I mean, can't you see it? But some people just can't. They don't distinguish the difference until you make it obvious, and then, you know, then you get the typical breakdown and the crying and the, you know, then they realize that actually they've been taken advantage of, and the feeling and the thought of that is quite distraught. So I want to bring Tara into this because this is one of the main topics that we're going to be talking about today. So Tara, tell us a little bit more about this bullying issue and bullies in general.
Well, I was bullied like my entire life, even from like family, my peers, and it didn't stop like when I graduated school or whatever. It just continued. So
Throughout life,
yeah, like
it just followed you.
Yeah, even as an adult, like, cause I go walking
Wow.
and people still scream stuff out windows and stuff, and you just ignore it for the most part, but sometimes it still bugs you. I mean, I'm not a young child.
Is that
anymore.
based on appearance or something, or what
Some
are they
people-
seeing?
I don't know. Some people just don't grow up, I guess. Some people just, I always call it high school syndrome. They don't, they graduate, but they don't leave that behind.
Right. They keep that mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite sad to hear. I mean, what do you think? I mean, what's not working that is making people, you know, bully other people, like pick on other people? I mean, like you're saying yourself, I mean, what is it that you think they are seeing that makes a complete random stranger scream something out to you out of a car window?
I always feel that they have insecurities about themselves, so they're taking it out on other people.
Right.
And I just
Okay.
happen to be one of the people that are getting the blunt end of it. So
Right. But I mean, isn't that a scary word to live in? You know, to know that there's just strangers, as random strangers. You don't even know them. They don't even know you. Yet they have the confidence. They've got the audacity to actually just call you whatever they feel, whatever they're seeing as a problem.
Yeah, but
That's a bit,
I just
yeah.
after a while a lot of people can't ignore it, but after a while I just learned to ignore it because you just have to be the bigger person and just realize that there's something else wrong with them, and it's just them acting out on something that they're insecure about themselves.
Yeah. I mean, just as a stat, seen bullies, 70.6% of young people say that they have been, that they've seen bullying in their school, and 70.4% of school staff have seen bullying. 62% have witnessed bullying 2 or more times in the last month, and 41% witnessed bullying once a week or more. When bystanders intervene, bullying stops within 10 seconds. 57% of the time, which is more than 50%. So, you're seeing someone getting picked on, you're seeing someone being taught for no reason, being taunt in their school, in the playground, or even out in public. Tara's saying it's even happening now. If someone was to step in and intervene and say, look, this is stupid, a bystander, 10 seconds it stopped, and 57% of the time it's an effective way to stop bullying. Is that all it takes? Tara, do you think?
But I think the issue with that is a lot of people are afraid to even stand up for other people because they're afraid that they're gonna end up getting bullied themselves if they stick up for other people.
Isn't that a bit of a joke? We were kids once, and we know, like, being kids, you go to school, things happen, and it a lot of people tell you it's just that time of your life, it's not gonna go on forever, but then obviously it does.
Right.
It in some people it does. It carries on and it follows you on and on as you grow older and older and older, and it's like a never-ending horror story, really. And the thing is, what is it that other adults who are seeing this go on are so afraid themselves of taking that stance, where we know statistically it would put an end to your possible continued torture, but they scared themselves. Fully grown people are scared themselves. I thought that was something that happened when we were kids. When you're an adult, you've got to behave like an adult. You've got to take the position like an adult.
Right.
What's happening? It's totally bizarre, Tara. What do you think? What's going on?
I don't know. I just don't understand people. People make absolutely no sense.
It's just bizarre. Well, I want to bring. Obviously, Tara has told us all about her backstory. Obviously, it is a tragic story. It is a bad story in a sense. But I guess it's here as an example. Okay, it's here as an example for us to take note of, that these things are happening right now, and they're happening to people that we know. We may think, oh, I don't know anybody who's getting bullied, but you do. People, like, they hide it. They may not tell no one about it. And Tara wants to bring this to the light. She wants this to come out so people can realize that, it still happens even when you get into adulthood, because a lot of the times bullying is associated with young people, with people who are still in college or in school or whatever. It kind of disappears when you get into adulthood or in the workplace or whatever. But that's not the case. Okay, that's not the case. And Tara's trying to bring this out so people can understand that even at her stage, it's still happening now. And even to the degree she don't even know what the hell it is, what's causing it, what people are even staring at. So I want to pass the question off to Exodus D. I want to bring him in on this. So Exodus, I mean, what's your
Yeah.
take on this whole bullying scenario? I know you got quite a fascinating story as well to tell us on this, so I'll leave the floor for you, dude.
I mean, this bullying itself, I hate just for the fact that growing up, like in elementary school, middle school, even sometimes
Yeah,
in high school, I was myself bullied too. For I don't know if it was because of like the way I look, like my
yeah,
height, my weight, or
yeah,
what, but I was just always just bullied by somebody. Even when I
yeah.
completely just moved schools, the people I did in middle
Wow.
school, I had to move between middle school and high school. I had to move school districts because my dad passed away before I
Yeah,
started high school, so I had to move completely new districts. And even people I've never known before, back when I first started high school, were like making fun of me daily.
it's
Like every time
incredible.
they pass me, like every time they
I
pass
mean,
me, they're like whistle at me and then point to me and then just start laughing.
incredible. And I mean, if you guys don't know, Exodus is actually a really tall guy. I mean, how old are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
He's 6'6". Now, these kids who are picking on you, are they shorter than you?
Uh, some of them were a little bit, but most of them, because back at the time when I first started to bully, I was only like 6'2", 6'3", so most of them were my height.
Yeah, there you go. So the thing is, it's like it's not even about a height thing. It's not even about like if you're big, you won't get bullied. If you're short, you're gonna get more likely bullied. It's not the case. There's no stereotype. There's no stigma. There's no like this is the target group. You know, anyone gets it. And the thing is, what's really sad is like how like everyone's sharing their stories of how they have, you know,
Mhm.
how they've had to deal with this sort of stuff. And I think like Exodus is his particular case. It's so sad to see. I mean, the guy's so intelligent, he's talented, and he's had to go through a lot of shit. And people don't realize that people are everyone is going through shit, and giving someone more shit for no reason just doesn't make any sense. It makes things more difficult. Go on, Exodus.
The other thing is too that like since my dad died like the middle of my middle school year, there was a kid that used to bully me constantly back in middle school. That like somehow he found out my dad died and they told me how I was sorry, and I was like okay, and I just walked away because I'm like, yeah, just because somebody died, you got to be nice to them now. I mean, you're nice to them
Yeah,
their whole life.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the sad thing. That is the sad thing. I mean, people have to find out like a tragic thing about you in order to kind of like give you that chance. Where if
But
they
then
give you
after
that
that,
chance
he was
from the
still bullying me.
really, I mean, that's just
Even yes,
ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, the thing is, would you agree with these statistics that 70.6%, 70.6% of young people, have seen bullying in their schools?
for sure. Because even like I've seen it multiple times. Not
Yeah.
not even just for me, but just for like other people. I personally seen it too. So yeah,
So,
I really do believe that.
I mean, do you not think, why doesn't anyone stick up for anybody? Why is everyone left on their
I
own to
always
defend
do.
themselves?
Every time I always see it, if it's somebody else, I'll
Yeah.
like either go up to them or like always tell a teacher or someone
So, do you find doing that
because I
actually
know how
stops
it
it from
feels.
happening? When
Uh,
you do that, do you think it stops it from happening?
Not always, because there's been a lot of times where teachers just been like okay and then walk back into her classroom.
That's incredible. I mean, the thing is, we talk about these school shootings that's happening in America, and even over here, there's a lot of violence in schools. And is it? I mean, we put people like teachers in a position of power, in a position of defending and safeguarding our kids at school and our young people at school. And it's quite sad to hear from someone who is young and is still with an education that the teachers aren't actually doing what they're supposed to do. You know, that
Yeah.
is just really really sad to hear. I mean, is there any other points you wanted to make? Any sort of remedies or any sort of words of wisdom you got for the youth out there, or even older people who may still feel like they're being bullied or they're being picked on, and how they can kind of cope with that?
I always tell people either stand up for yourself or tell somebody. And so
Yeah,
far, for all my friends that I've told that to, they've always said that's worked because they usually choose to stand up for themselves. And then
yeah.
after that, once I'm stand up for themselves, they said that the bully hasn't messed with them since.
And I think that's a really valid point, you know, stand up for yourself, you know, because the thing is, a lot of the times bullies get away with doing these things because they do one thing, they get away with it, then they do something else, they get away with that, and it just keeps going. And then it goes from being a minor thing like just pushing you in the corridor to taking your lunch money and then putting your head in the toilet and then stealing your bag, taking your trainers. It just escalates. It keep because they're like, this kid, this person doesn't have any power to stand up for themselves. They just accept everything I'm doing, you know. And I think that is really wise words from such a young person. Is stand up for yourself, you know. And I think if more people did it, and if you did it collectively, you know, I mean, in school, you'll always know there's kids getting bullied, and if those kids came together and they stood up together against the bullies, it wouldn't happen. You know, there's normally just one or two people who are bullies, really, and
Yeah.
the amount of people that they bully outnumbers them at least double.
Hmm.
But it's whether we want, it's whether we're willing to come together as a society, as a community. I mean, this is why we created this community. It's because everyone's welcome here. We're very open, and we like to talk about absolutely everything. And the thing is, if we don't have that, if we don't incorporate that into schools, it's just gonna get worse. That's the way I look at it. It's just gonna get worse. I'm gonna bring Crazy Holes in on this. I know Crazy's got a couple of stories to tell us about herself, which will be quite interesting listening. So, Crazy, the floor is yours.
Well, when I was back in the UK and I started primary school, I got bullied from pretty much year 2 to year 6. So the first the first couple of years was fine, and then it just started to hit as soon as I hit year 2. So I had the worst 4 years.
So year 2 is like a 7-year-old.
Pretty much.
So from about the age of 7.
6 or 7, yeah. And I was bullied from year 2 to year 6, and it was the same person. And my mum got phone calls all the time because I was being picked on by the same person for no reason, and it was a boy, and he used to get pencils and like literally stab them in my arm for no reason.
Wow.
Yeah. He would like throw rulers, like he would literally snap them in half and literally throw them directly at me.
And is this in the presence of teachers?
Sometimes, yeah.
And the teachers didn't do anything?
No, not for a little while. But my mum, because my mum used to work in a school, my mum said to them, hey, like, listen, if you don't do nothing about my daughter's bullying, I'm going to take her out of this school. And then they actually did something.
What did they do? What did they put in place? How did they combat this problem?
They basically like spoke to the parents, and the parents came in, and to be honest, the parents were totally unaware that their son was bullying me, and they basically gave him a good telling off. and said, hey, listen, you keep carrying on this, it's not
Yeah.
going to be good for you later on in life. And basically, it's affected me a lot because then when I went to secondary school, I had so basically the whole 5 years of me, 4 years being there, I endured, like, because I was in a mixed school, people just sniggering, laughing, you know, just being silly. Even when I was in the cafeteria, people throwing food. It was just silly things, really. And then when I left school, or before I left school, I developed anxiety, and I developed
Do you think that's from the bullying?
yeah, I developed social anxiety, which means now I find it very hard to make friends, and I find it very hard to go out anywhere and socialize with people due to bullying. And also I developed depression because of the trauma of being bullied pretty much since I was 6 or 7. So and now I still, today, as an adult, I still have anxiety, and I still have depression due to trauma in my childhood.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it sucks because, you know, I find I want to go out. I want to make friends. I want to be sociable, but because of what happened, and because I fear that if I make a new friend, it's going to happen again. And
what, that friend will start bullying you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, do you think the system failed you throughout your school time, basically?
I'd say pretty much, yeah. Because
But is that because, I mean, did you tell anybody at secondary school that you were getting picked on?
To be honest, no, not really. Because the thing is, I just kind of woke up and just kind of thought, well, this is another day of just me being bullied, I guess. So,
I mean, have you seen those people who used to bully you back in school?
No, but then it did affect me and my grades, you know, because, you know, the school started to notice that I wasn't coming to school a lot, and then like they spoke to my mom and they said, hey, like, we need to talk to you, and then they put me in counselling. But to be honest, counselling really doesn't work because it might work for some people, but others it doesn't. Counselling never worked for me because I find it very hard to talk. So yeah.
No, and I mean, that's understandable because the situation didn't help. You know, it must have been quite a difficult time, really. With everything that was going on. So, you know, I just think, I mean, should there have been more? I mean, do you think that you should have said something and you didn't say anything? Kind of like, I mean, did anyone ever stick up for you? Did anyone ever see this going on and say, hey, you know, this is a bit out of line, maybe?
I mean,
you know.
Personally, I did have like a tiny circle of friends, and yeah, they did stick up for me. But to be honest, what happened was they were sticking up for me, but they were getting bullied as well because they were helping me.
That's incredible. I mean, it's quite sad. I mean, the thing is that this kind of stuff goes on all the time, and it's happening more and more, but it's still kind of like a taboo that's not really being sort of given enough light, I don't think, with the amount of people who are getting picked on, getting bullied, and it's it's carrying them in their adult life, you know, which is it's a bit shocking, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not someone who's ever had to endure bullying, so obviously it's kind of it's not difficult. I did see people getting bullied, and I would stick up for a lot of people who used to get bullied as well. But the thing is, um, it's really strange. I mean, just coming back to you, Crazy. I mean, you said people were picking on you, but do you think there was something in particular they were targeting? Is it the way you were looking, or is it, you know, like your height or your weight, or
I think it was because I'm I'm quite a shy person. Like I don't talk a lot, and to be honest, I've always been a quiet person. I don't I just tend to keep myself to myself, and to be
yeah,
honest, like yeah, in school in year 7, you know, you're that little quiet person. But by the time I hit year 11, I was
yeah,
still that same quiet person. And a lot of like some people in my year group, they were trying to tell me, oh, like be confident, and you know, but the flashbacks of primary school
yeah.
are still there. You know, how can I how can I be
No,
confident?
obviously that's controlling you a little bit. It's kind
Yeah.
of like taking over your life a little bit. I mean, it's. I mean, the thing is, can you think of a solution uh, to this problem? Is there a way out for this kind of behavior happening within? Because it seems to be something that happens at a young age, and it either it stops or it just keeps happening and happening, goes through the whole of the school term, school life, and before you know it, you're a fully grown adult, and it still dawns on you that.
Mm.
So, do you think there should be more done at a younger age to kind of combat the bullying phenomena? Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely. I mean, the thing is, you don't want to go to primary school and have counselling. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks because the thing is, like, I got bullied. I think more so I got bullied more in primary school than I did in secondary school.
Right.
And to be bullied by the same person for 4 years in primary school is not a nice
Yeah.
thing. Knowing that they're going to sit next to you, never not knowing what they're going to do next, or things like that. But I do believe that they should do something or put some sort of, I don't know, maybe like a like because some teachers don't know behavior of a kid when they're bullied, like they might not show
Right.
it. So
Right. Okay. Right. So they may not be it may not be like obvious.
yeah,
And do you think like so? Do you think teachers need more training on identifying the traits of a kid that's been bullied?
I'd say so, yeah, because when I was bullied in primary school, I didn't really show it in school. I'd probably more so show it at home. You know, I'd go home crying
Right.
every day.
Really?
Yeah. So
I mean that no, that is quite sad. I mean that is incredible to even think that, you know, I mean that's just insane. That is insane. You know that well, it is. It's unheard of, to be honest with you. That, you know, you're going home every day, you're crying every day at home, and it's just because of some random person who is taking advantage of the fact that you're shy or you're quiet, or, you know, you don't have that confidence of being, you know, like in your face, and that's the thing that they're using to sort of, you know, beat you down every day at school.
yeah, And the thing is, as well, what affected me the most, and the most saddest thing, is that now at an adult stage, I left school nearly 7 years ago, and
Mm.
I'm in the adult stage, and I still, to this day, still can't get over like the trauma that I had from being bullied at school. And to be honest, I don't know if my anxiety will ever go. I don't know if my depression will ever go. I mean, I have a slight tendency of like post-traumatic stress disorder because of it.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
like obviously I take like medication for it, and it's got to that severity. Like it's got that severe that
Yeah.
and sometimes I still even have like nightmares about it. I can sit up and sometimes I can't sleep. Sometimes
Yeah.
I sit there and cry because,
Mhm.
and this is at adult stage. And this is like happened like nearly 6, 7 years ago. And I still,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
it still hurts a lot.
Yeah.
So,
The thing is this is a difficult subject. I'm not gonna. This is not something we're gonna solve in today's podcast. But I
yeah.
think something people should take away from this video is if you see bullying, you have to intervene. We should be the people who stand up for those who are being mistreated. It's irrelevant whether someone looks bad or because no one knows everyone's personal circumstance. Everybody could be in a very difficult position. Someone might have had a family member just pass away. They may have just lost their pet. They may be dealing with things at home. Because they say a lot of the times, bullies come from backgrounds where their family, like they see their parents arguing, or their dad beat their parent, or their mum beat the dad, or they get abused themselves. So then they take that out on kids at school, and I think it's really, really important that we realize that people who are, because the only way to stop this from happening is for people who are getting bullied to come together and stop that from happening. That's the way I look at it, because it's such a high volume of people who are being bullied at school, and I think if you don't all come together and stick up for each other in those situations, it's just going to get worse and worse and it will carry on into adult life. Crazy Holes is a fully grown woman. Tara is a fully grown woman, and Tazzy's pretty much a grown man. So the thing is that this shit, it starts at such a young age, and people think it's just a youth thing. It's just a thing that happens when you're young, but the knock-on effects that it has is long term. If it doesn't get nipped in the bud when it's at its first stage, it will spiral out of control. I'm just going to bring it back over to Tara for any last points that she may want to make on this subject. Tara, is there anything you wanted to add to what's already been said?
I listening to what Crazy said, I feel the same way. Like she said that she feels like a lot of it was probably because she was shy and stuff, and that probably like mine was probably the same with my height. Like I got picked on because I was so short, and then I was overweight growing up.
Right.
So I was picked up because of that. And
so being a chubby short girl, made you an easy target.
Yeah. And there was this one situation, I think it was in 9th grade. I actually got suspended because somebody lied and said I stabbed them in the hand with a pencil, which I didn't do. They kept ramming their chair into my hand on my desk, and I'm not gonna say I didn't hit them because I did, but he was bullying me like the entire year, hitting me, pushing me down the stairs and everything, and then he and kept ramming his chair into my hand, and I just slapped him in the back of the head. But he said I stabbed him in the hand with a pen, and he ended up getting me suspended for a week, and it ended up getting taken away because he ended up telling the truth. But like that could have stayed on my permanent record if he didn't end up saying that it was all a lie. But
Yeah. I mean, so I mean, the thing is, this is the other thing as well. Is that like it's a great point you've actually touched on, Tara. Is there's only so much you're gonna push somebody before they retaliate, and why wait for someone to retaliate in a violent way, and then you're gonna act like the victim when you're the one that's been instigating for them to be violent back. And then when they're violent back, then you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done nothing in the first place. I should have, blah blah blah. You try to weave your way out, and I think that's really sad. That's really that's really like a bad thing. And it's creating the people that are going to be adults in the future. They're going to be in positions in work and whatever, and they're going to be the same way. They're not going to change. Some of them feel bad. I'm sure a lot of bullies probably feel bad for things that they've done, but at the same time, I beg the question. Do bullies change their ways, or are they the people who become investment bankers and big banking corporations who then just rape all the little people and leave them to struggle in life? Is that the case? Is that what happens within society? I don't know. I mean, I'll bring Exodus back in. Exodus, is there anything you wanted to add to the topics, to the points, sorry, that have been made by Crazy Holes and Tara?
No, I think they're like really, really good and valid points about just everything. Like they, like, yeah. But I was gonna add, in high school, I may or may not have drank a little bit to forget the bullying, just to like, just to like kind of like calm down and shit when I got home from school, because I knew where my mom kept the liquor and she was always at work. So I take like 2 or 3 shots and then go back to my room and chill out the rest of the day. Because there were days where I was just so fucking mad about what people were saying about me.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the path of being bullied can lead to the path of destruction. I mean, there's so many things that happen. There's suicide, people taking their lives over this kind of shit, people getting into addiction, getting into drugs, getting into really weird shit as well sometimes, people cutting themselves, and, and it all can be prevented. All of it can be, easily, I mean, I say easily, but can be kind of, it all can be easily taken care of, but it takes, I mean, the thing is, I can only urge people is to talk up, like you've heard the story of Tara, you've heard the story of Exodus, you've heard the story of Crazy. Don't hide away, don't be the person who thinks they're fine and really inside you're dying. Okay, you're dreading the next day. Speak up. People will always have your back, and I mean, sometimes these kids who are doing these stuff, they don't even know why they're doing it themselves. They don't even know why they're picking on somebody. They have no reason to do it. But the thing is sometimes it's in. We've got to take that control. We've got to be more we've got to realize that our actions is causing things to continue as they are, rather than things improving and changing. I want to bring Crazy Holes in on this as the last topic, as the last opinion on this topic. Crazy, is there anything you want to add before we move on to the next segment?
I mean, obviously, we've pretty much gone over everything, and, just pretty much thought of what can be done and what could be done and what can help the future children, whether
Yeah.
whether they get bullied, God forbid, that they.
I mean, do you think, with the experience that you've got from being bullied, you can spot a kid who's being bullied?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because the thing is,
Really?
I know, because from experience, that whole, like head down, looking slumped over, not giving anybody eye contact. That's
Yeah.
what I used to do. So of course, you would spot it anywhere.
Right. And in the same sense, can you spot who a bully is?
See, that one's kind of, I don't know. It depends really on their demeanor. Really, they could be like they could easily. I don't know. It's kind of hard because in school they might show they're all macho and all that, but as soon as they hit outside, they might go a bit like, oh, I don't.
It all calms down.
Yeah. But, like.
I mean, what I'm gonna do before we end this, before we move on from this segment, I just want to get a single sentence, word, phrase, caption, something inspirational from each of you, that is some sort of words of compassion that you can give to people who will watch this podcast afterwards, people who will watch this video, to kind of give them some courage if they are being bullied, and maybe add some words to the bullies who are delivering the harm every day to these these people. First of all, coming over to Exodus D, what could you tell someone who's being bullied to do, and like words of encouragement, and what would you say to a bully?
What I would say to someone being bullied is either tell somebody or stand up for yourself. Like I said to all my friends and everybody.
And what words do you have for the bullies?
Just stop. You don't know what you're doing to them.
Yeah, and I think that's hit home really. Tara, same question.
Thank you.
I would tell them to just believe in yourself. Don't listen to what what they have to say to you. Like don't give in to the negativity.
So don't let it take hold.
Yes.
Don't give it power.
Yeah, you're better than what they're feeding you. Don't feed into don't fuel their.
I mean, and for the bullies, what words have you got for those bullies out there?
That they need to figure out what's going on in their life and figure out why they're taking it out on everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. Word to the bullies. And obviously coming last but not least, but to Crazy Holes, same questions.
Well, I'd say to the victims, don't suffer in silence. Don't sit there and, I'd say just speak out and don't do what I did and just sit there and dwell on what's going to come the next day. Don't sit there and suffer in silence, because you're only going to make yourself ill, basically. And so, and for the bullies, well, I'd say think before you do, think before you do, because the thing is take a step in somebody else's shoes. Like, say for instance, if they were being bullied, how would they feel?
Yeah, no,
so
definitely.
So yeah.
Well, that I mean, the thing is, this is a big topic. It's a big subject, and we would love to hear your opinions down there in those comments down below. I mean, obviously, if you're watching the video live, be sure to drop a comment for us. We would love to hear from you of what maybe you might have gone through, what people have gone through, and if you're watching this on playback, let us know what can be done about these bullies, and what would you say to encourage those who are being bullied of what they can do, and to the bullies out there, what would you tell them about their bullying ways? But I hope and I pray that people out there who are being victimized and are being picked on. I mean, the thing is, the biggest bullying thing that's ever happened to me is being called a terrorist. I mean, literally, fashioning this beard has literally put me as a wanted man on everyone's radar. So the thing is, I have some sympathy and some empathy with those who are victimized every day through the world of bullies, and I just hope that we can come together as a human species and realize that, yes, we are not all the same. We are all very different. But if we don't tolerate each other, if we don't show compassion for each other's existence, then there's no point in existing. So on that note, I'd like to just, wish all of you guys out there who are suffering the courage to stand up to those who are causing your suffering, and to find the words and the confidence to let someone know how bad things are. If you want to let me know. I mean, there's been a lot of people who subscribe to the channel who have talked to me about all types of deep things, and a lot of people will know that I'm an ear that will listen. So find that courage, find that way, and be strong. Be strong. Tara said some wonderful words. Don't give them power, because that's what happens if you become a victim. So, and to the bullies, the T4 army's coming for you, bitch. Right, moving on swiftly, which we're gonna try and up the tempo a little bit and talk about the fascination with TidePODs. That's right. It seems the world is consumed by the TidePOD epidemic. Before we jump onto this topic, I just want to play this little snippet from The Sun, which is a prominent tabloid newspaper over here in the United Kingdom. Just listen to this.
Make of this a dangerous online trend, kids swallowing laundry pods, putting it on YouTube for everyone to see. And tonight, ABC Action News has confirmed there are new cases showing up here in Florida. Good evening, everyone. I'm Paul Legrone.
And I'm Laura Harris. It's called the TidePOD Challenge. Hard to believe that we're even watching videos like this. As ABC Action News reporter Ashley Yor explains, this joke has very serious health consequences.
It's all fun and games till somebody ends up in the ER.
And those trips to the emergency room now more likely as teenagers join in the TidePOD Challenge, biting Tide Pods and recording it, like in this video. Poison Control first got calls about toddlers eating Tide Pods, seeing these bright colors thinking they're candy. They added child lock zippers and warnings on the packaging, but that likely won't help with teens.
You're playing with fire. It could be something really dangerous. It might seem fun and try to get views, but it's really, you are taking chances.
Poison Control in Tampa says they've gotten calls from people asking about eating the pods, saying they thought it would be funny.
It seems to have gone from people talking about wanting to do it to people actually doing it. So I was very surprised.
Nationally, just 12 days into 2018, there have been 37 teens misusing Tide Pods, and more than half of them intentionally ingesting Tide Pods. One of those cases right here in Florida. 3 Florida teenagers ate Tide Pods in 2017 with scary side effects.
You can become rapidly unconscious. If you aspirate, you get some into your lungs, either in the act of swallowing it or in the act of vomiting, which happens. Then you have more respiratory issues.
Procter & Gamble, parent company of Tide, says the pods should not be played with whatever the circumstance, even if meant as a joke. If a teenager you know is thinking about participating in this challenge, please call Poison Control for help. That number is on our website.
So TidePODs. Yes, people are actually eating laundry detergent for views. I mean, oh my god. I mean, literally, we go from the serious topic of bullying to this crazy shit of the TidePODs. I mean, what is going on, people? What is going on in the world that you would think it's fine to eat TidePODs? I mean, TidePODs is laundry detergent. It is not candy. Okay, it has a bleach in there. It has a poison that sulfuric acid, which they use in rat poison. There's laundry detergent which has got aqua in there, which you're not meant to eat. Okay, the thing is, there's plenty of things to eat other than laundry detergent. And the thing is, I mean, it started off as a joke meme and has spiraled out of control. I mean, literally, people are eating TidePODs for fucking views. I mean, what is wrong with the world? I mean, let us know in the comments down below. But before that, let's talk to Exodus D about this phenomena of TidePOD consumption by the masses. Exodus, what do you think about this little phenomena that's happening?
It's ridiculous, dude. Like, people don't, like, laundry detergent is used for laundry detergent. If they wanted it to be food, it wouldn't be laundry detergent. There's a reason it's laundry detergent. People are just they take stuff so seriously. Like, I've never looked at TidePOD and like, ooh, I want to eat that. I'm always like, no, the shit goes in laundry.
I mean, the thing is that it's becoming a trend. It's becoming a bit of a fad for these videos coming out with people drinking. I mean, eating TidePODs. Crazy. I mean, what the fuck is going on? How did we get to this point in the evolution of human beings?
I mean, literally, that's the first time I've seen a video. I mean, I've heard about the whole thing, but that's the first time I've actually seen a video, and that nearly made me feel physically sick. Like, literally, how like, that's supposed to wash your fucking clothes. Like, what is? Oh, I don't even.
I mean, it doesn't even look appetizing. No. I mean, it is detergent. You know, it's like eating washing up liquid. It's detergent to clean clothing. I mean, what is going on? What is going on, Tara? Why are people choosing to eat laundry detergent over food?
People are crazy nowadays. They're doing anything just to get views and attention. Any way they can get it.
Yeah. I mean, is it the thing that people just don't know limits anymore? There's no limits. They just anything goes. Is this what's happening within our society? Exodus, what do you think? Are people just insane now?
Yeah, everybody fucking. There's just some people that just shouldn't be allowed on the internet, and a lot of people are the TidePOD people. It makes them like scared of it.
I mean, Tara, really? I mean, what is happening with these people? I mean, they don't know that it's laundry detergent.
Most of them are teenagers. They know better.
I mean, Tara, you work with a lot of young people, and I mean, have you heard anything like, you know, about them talking about this TidePOD challenge?
Not any of the kids I know.
So the good thing is we can rest assured that most of the kids that you deal with have got their head screwed on correctly and are not planning to ingest laundry detergent anytime soon. Crazy. What's happening to the youth? Why are they so? Have they forgotten the limit? Is the limit not there anymore?
Just pretty much shows the mentality of the youth today, I suppose. They just don't have anything better to do.
So them not having it. I mean, the thing is, I hate to bring this in, but is this a Logan Paul problem? You know, is people like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, providing the sort of the psychotic moves that other people are now pushing that limit even further? You know, before you know it, you're gonna have people eating, I don't know, dog's testicles or something. I don't know. The thing is, is this what's happening? Is because we have certain people who have got a lot of fame and a lot of money from sort of doing things that aren't actually morally good and would be deemed as a normal practice, then provoking others to like, oh shit, we should do this because this is the next level now. You know, is this what's happening? Is this just the continued trend that's going to happen until we start showing us eating little babies or something? Crazy.
Well, to be honest, you know what everything's like. You know, one craze comes along, it'll be here for about a month or two, gets boring, and then they move on to the next thing. So it's kind of like an everyday occurrence with pretty much the youth of today, pretty much.
I mean, the thing is, they don't pull these things out of a hat. You know, I mean,
No.
obviously there must be certain people within society who are in an influence sort of position that must be provoking this kind of thought to come into someone's head.
I think it started. I mean, I know it started as a meme. It started as a meme.
It did, yeah.
And then then it moved on to, oh, that looks actually quite fun. No. And then everybody just started.
And the thing is it just one person pushing another person, and then before you know it, it's being consumed by the masses? I mean, Exodus, is this what's happened?
In a way, kind of, yeah.
So
It's
do you
just
think that
like one of
the
those
big
things-
influences? Yeah, go on.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, do you think the big influences like, you know, Jake, Logan, people who are, you know, who have got a lot of influence on young people, doing things that are very provocative and push those sort of moral limits, is that what's causing these kind of extremes to happen for people to get views?
I mean, yeah, because nowadays people do anything for views. Like if it gets somebody views, they're gonna do it, no doubt. No matter what it is.
Tara, have we become a society so indulged with people, like looking for people to approve our existence, that we're willing to eat laundry detergent? Is that the level that we've come to? You know, a beautiful picture of a landscape is not good enough anymore. Now you've got to be eating dog shit in order for people to give a fuck. Is that what's happening, Tara?
I believe so. Everybody wants to be something, and with the internet, you could be whatever you want.
Yeah, at your own peril, obviously. Now, along with this little issue with the TidePODS, there was a video released on how to treat poisons and signs and symptoms, first aid training, so how to monitor the level of response for burnt lips, give them sips of cold water and milk, and if they don't vomit, keep a sample for the ambulance. I'm just going to play this through just so those of you who ever come into contact with this shit or know someone who has, don't panic. This is what you're supposed to do.
Swallowed poisons could include chemicals, drugs, plants, fungi, and berries. There are 5 key signs to look for if someone has swallowed a poison.
I just wanted to touch on that quickly. It's funny how she says, you know, things that are organic, like fungi, berries, you know. They never thought in a million years people would have to watch a poison video because they ate laundry detergent. That's how insane things have gone. Anyway, continue with the video.
They may have nausea and vomiting, which can sometimes be blood-stained. Cramping abdominal pain. A burning sensation. They may show a decreased level of responsiveness, or even have a seizure. If someone has swallowed a poison and they are responsive, ask them, what have you swallowed? How much did you swallow? And when did you swallow it? Look for clues such as poisonous plants or empty packaging. Reassure them and call 999 or 112 for emergency help. Give ambulance control as much information as you can about the poison.
Oh, and the 999 and the 112 is a UK number. Obviously, if you're in America, dial 911, okay? No other number, 911. Okay, continuing with the video.
While waiting for help, monitor their level of response and keep reassuring them. If the poison they've swallowed has burnt their lips or airway, give them sips of water or milk. If they should vomit, try to keep a sample in a bag or container to give to the ambulance personnel. It may help them to identify the poison. Do not try to make them vomit. If they become unresponsive at any time, be prepared to treat an unresponsive casualty. So remember, when treating someone who has swallowed a poison, ask them what they have swallowed, how much and at what time. Look for any clues. Call 999 or 112 for emergency help. While waiting for help, reassure the casualty and monitor their level of response. And that's how you can help someone who has swallowed a poison.
Right. That's how you can help someone who has swallowed poison. You heard it here first, okay? Be sure to keep that in mind for those emerging TidePod cases that are coming our way in 2018. Moving on, because I really don't want to dwell too much on this fucking retarded TidePODS challenge rubbish. We're going to bring up something a little bit deep. We're going to talk about hopes and dreams. This is a topic that Tara wanted to discuss on today's podcast, and I thought, you know what, great topic. So I'm going to hand it over to Tara about hopes and dreams and see what your responses are on that. So Tara, take it away with the hopes and dreams. What are we hoping for? What are we dreaming for?
My lifelong dream has always been to be a photographer, and that's what I'm doing. But since I was 4, I wanted to do traveling photography, which I've always been told I wasn't good enough growing up by my father and stuff. So it kind of demolished my dream a little bit. So as I got older, I decided that it's time not to listen to him. So now that I'm old, I decided that I'm going to
an old granny. Yeah.
And I'm going to finally live out my dream, and I'm going to start doing my traveling this year. So I'm hoping that everything works out.
Okay, so Tara had hopes and dreams before, and they were crushed. Okay, and anyone could have crushed it, but for Tara, it was her dad. Okay, and the thing is realizing that people may say certain things, it's happened to everyone. Okay, everyone. And it always seems to be a parent. Always. And the thing is, you should never stop hoping and dreaming, because hoping and dreaming is what drives you to your destination. And you'll find if you give up on your hopes and dreams and do anything mediocre, your heart's never in it, ever. And you'll always fail. And you'll always feel like you fail because you give up on the things that actually would have driven you to your success. And success is measured in numerous ways. Success of fulfillment is personal. It doesn't have a value. You don't have to be a millionaire from your hopes and dreams. You should be content, happy, and know that you succeeded in what it was you wanted to succeed in. I mean, obviously, if your hopes and dreams is to have $1 million, obviously you have to work really hard. But some people's hopes and dreams isn't like that. It may start off that way, but it becomes something different. And it's really interesting that you talk about photography. Talk us a little bit about the kind of photography that you've done, Tara.
I've done sports, nature, portraits, but most of it's been sports, with soccer and basketball, baseball, softball. I take photos when I go walking of just the nature that I see.
Yeah.
And,
so are you thinking about pushing the nature photography a bit more?
Yeah, I've always dreamt about doing wildlife photography.
Wow. And what kind of things are you putting in place to kind of drive your hopes and dreams in fulfilling that wildlife photography sort of fulfillment?
Right now I'm just doing I'm just gonna do some traveling to get a better portfolio of different scenery and stuff, and then within the next year I want to do some major traveling where I could actually do some wildlife. I want to do a trip to Africa so I can do some major wildlife photography.
Yeah. And I think that'd be really cool. I mean, the ambition is there, and you just got to keep driving towards it. And I think, I mean, I've seen a lot of Tara's pictures on Instagram. If you guys haven't followed Tara over there, be sure to go check her out. Really awesome pictures. I mean, the nature pictures that she takes are quite impressive. And she's also over on twitter.com. So be sure to follow Tara over at Twitter. Tara K. Dick is who you're looking for. So be sure to check her out if you haven't done so already. Also, bringing Exodus D into this. Exodus, hopes and dreams. Where do they lie with you?
Differently. Yeah, obviously, when I first started out, a good 10, 11 years, I wanted to be a pro hockey player. But then I hurt my knee, so that kind of just pushed away. And then more recently, it's pretty much just been getting a job and getting my own place and all that. And that's where I'm at now.
So the dreams of being a professional hockey player, is that out of the window?
Basically, yeah.
And that's because of the injuries you suffered, right?
Yeah.
So there's some life stories here. There's some things for people to take on board. Those who are still growing up, those who are still young, those who might be watching this video, is always know how far to push anything. So not to do too much. I mean, Tazzy has got an amazing sort of life's experience on this. And he's going to talk to us about this in a minute. And literally, with the whole, pursuing something, you always got to know sort of how long you've got to go before you get to that end goal. Tazzy, tell us about how your hopes and dreams kind of came to an abrupt end last year or year before.
You want to tell me how I injured my knees or just the surgery?
Well, in the sense of, yeah, how you injured your knee and basically, like, because I've seen a massive change in Tazzy, in Exodus D. I've seen a massive difference in the sense that I remember the kid who used to play hockey a lot and then became the kid who got injured through recklessness, I'd say. And, you know, I think it's a really valuable lesson and a valuable bit of information that a lot of people could take away from of knowing how to reach that limit and not to go beyond it, because there's the rest of your life to kind of max out and not to overdo it when you're so young. Would you agree, Tazzy? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think people should just, like, obviously with like certain things they should like not go like super hard, but at least enough to where they can still like improve, but just not hard enough to where they do what I do.
Yeah. Which is hurting both his knees. Right, moving on to Crazy Holes. Crazy, hopes and dreams. Where are you and where do you think you should be?
Well, my dream has always been since I was little to become a animal assistant, like veterinary assistant. Like that's what I wanted to be, because I love animals. But due to certain circumstances, I can't pursue that dream due to not being able to go to uni and get the qualification that I need. So that was my dream, and my hopes are to someday have a family of my own. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the hopes and dreams are quite interesting because the dream to be a veterinarian never could come to an end, to be honest, because you always can seek the opportunity to go to university. Once you reach a certain age, you can apply and you can go, and you can gain that qualification that you need to take you forward. You know, dreams are there for a reason. They help us to keep moving forward, and our hopes. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the ultimate hope of having a family is a really, I think, is a really important hope to have, because that's the ultimate hope, I think, for a lot of people, is to be able to have people there who love them, who truly, you know, have the best intention for them. And, you know, that is a big goal to reach. And I think in this day and age, there's a lot of people who, you know, who fall out, who don't continue to pursue their hopes and their dreams, and there's a lot of thorns on the road. You know, the road isn't smooth, like a lot of people may think it is. They look at other people's lives and think, Jesus, I wish I had a piece of that pie, because it seems so much greener on that side. But I'll be honest with you, everybody, I think, will always say they wish they could be on that person's side rather than being where they are. But the thing is, what happens, that especially with social media, is we never paint the picture of the torture and the sadness and the grief and the pain and the struggle. You know, like we've spoken about today on the bullying subject. People you'd meet on a day-to-day basis, you'd have zero idea the kind of life they've had to live in order to get to the place they are. And the hopes and dreams is really, really important in order to be able to drive you forward and take you forward, so that you can become the best that you can be, not to stay sort of dormant, you know, to continue improving, to continue changing, so that you can look back and say, oh, yeah, I remember that person, but that's not the person I'm today. And this is really, really important, because we should always be advancing. We should always be changing, because if we don't, we will ultimately fail ourselves. You know, we ultimately will sacrifice our hopes and dreams for others, and this can have dire consequences for our futures. And I think it's really, really important that, I mean, I'm really quite proud and really quite happy to hear that obviously my guests today have got some pretty awesome hopes and dreams. And I mean, there are some downfalls to having certain types of dreams, because obviously if you put yourself out too early, it can kind of have a dire effect. But who's to say Exodus might become a coach, which isn't exactly what he wanted to do, but it keeps him within the environment. What was that? Sorry?
Your dad was some sort of trainer.
Exactly. And the thing is, you know, because you've had the life experience of being injured, seriously injured, and then you can pass that knowledge on to players that you see. You can explain to them that, look, don't go too hard, because you're going to ultimately, you'll suffer in the end. And this is the whole point of it, you know. I mean, even with Crazy Holes and not being able to go to university to gain the qualification to become a veterinarian or an assistant veterinarian, the dream isn't gone. It's just circumstance causes these problems to come up. And I'm sure if she thought deep enough, she'd see that actually maybe there is a way. And again, it kind of all relates back to the whole, you know, confidence of what might have happened early on with the bullying, with the bullies. You know, it knocks our confidence. But, you know, then we take inspiration from Tara. You know, Tara is pushing forward. You know, it may have taken all this time, but in the end, look where she is. She's gonna go push forward. She's looking forward to that next stage. And I think that's really, really important. And, you know, I want to bring Crazy in this. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think there's any last kind of thought that you've got on the hopes and dreams? You know, what could happen? What could be that change that would help to drive you forward with your hopes and dreams?
I'd say probably try and push myself and see where I go. And maybe push aside the shyness, and, you know, the confidence to try and do what I want to pursue for my dream, really.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, people are always looking for a way. That's the important thing. This is what I find quite amazing by a lot of people, is they're always looking for a way to push forward. Tara, what do you think? Is the dreams going to happen?
Well, you make your dreams come true. They're not just going to be handed to you. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to make them happen.
Yeah, real inspiration. I'm not gonna lie, that is serious inspirational stuff. We were gonna talk on a couple of bits, but we've ran over time. So I want to say a massive thank you to all my guests for joining us today on the podcast. Massive shout out goes out to Crazy Holes, Exodus D, and Tara K for sharing their thoughts, sharing their opinions, and hopefully inspiring some of you guys to kind of realize where we go right and where we go wrong. I hope you guys have enjoyed us today. It's been an interesting podcast, a very sort of deep podcast, talking about a lot of different things, and I think it's made a lot of big difference. I hope it has, to a lot of you guys. Please don't forget any of the conversations that we've had today. We want to hear what you guys think, whether you're watching us live, whether you are watching this video afterwards. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think. where do you stand with all of the topics that we talked about today? And before we sign off, I just want to say a massive shout out to obviously the sponsors for sponsoring the show. Obviously, we've got Cinch Gaming for your control freak needs. We got CD Keys for all your PS Plus and all of your gaming needs. They got it all, including Xbox Live. And also not forgetting Razer, the infamous Razer, teaming up with us and giving you guys the PC discounts as always. And not forgetting the merch shop. Be sure to go check out the brand spanking new merch. It is live and it is beautiful. Also, not forgetting G2A over at twitch.tv, an awesome sponsor still there, legendary, helping us through these difficult days on YouTube. And as always, the guests, the guys who watch, the guys who get involved. Massive shout out goes out to all of you guys. Big shout out to the guys who joined us on stream today. Big shout out goes out to the Electrical Skateboard and Theronzilla. Thanks for joining us over at twitch.tv. And if I've forgotten to mention anybody, apologies. But as always, we'll sign off. And I would just like to say, as always, stay safe, stay awesome, and peace.